hostess. I am your mindset coach because mindset matters. And I need to know who's in the room with me right now. Who's in the room? Let me know who was actually here yesterday. Who was here? If you were here yesterday, let me know if you were here yesterday. Put a 1 in the comments if you were here with me yesterday. Let me see, because I need to see who I'm talking to tonight, right? Welcome to the 3-day real estate workshop. You were here yesterday. I see you, Tyra. I see you, Fatima. Is it Deandra Young? Sylvia, Laura. So here's what we need to do. Before we get started, because sharing is caring, send out the link. Send out the link and invite some people to say, hey, listen, send it out to 10 people in your phone. And say, you may want to come and listen because what I heard yesterday was powerful. So, and go ahead. I'm going to give you like 60 seconds to take the link that you logged on with and send it out to 10 people in your phone. All right. Invite them on in the room. Invite them in the room. Go ahead. Send it out to 10 people. Carolyn, good evening. Good evening. Good evening. Good evening. Good evening. And you know what's so important to know and understand? That Dana could have easily just said, you know what, we're just going to host this 3-day real estate workshop. And she did not have to be concerned about mindset at all. But because she understands that mindset matters, because she could give you all the principles in the world. If you do not change your mindset, we know that you will fumble the bag. There are people that are less qualified than you that are securing the bag. And it is because they've got the right mindset and they are doing the work. See, because we're waiting for things to be perfect, and we learned yesterday, nope, that it doesn't need to be perfect. So let's go ahead. There's the link right there. You can take that link and you can share that with 10 people in your phone. And then let me ask for the people, maybe this is your first time being on the mindset call. If this is your first time, put a 2 in the comments so that we know who we're talking to. Put a 2 in the comments so we know who we're talking to. Yes, don't keep this to yourself. If this is your first night on the mindset call, put a 2. Hello, good evening, Pironia. Periana. I'm sorry, Periana. I think I pronounced it right the second time. Pam Edwards, good evening and welcome back. Okay, so everybody that was here on night number 1 yesterday, let me know if you remember. So we talked about the war between vision and distraction. We talked about the war between vision and distraction. We talked about not being able to build a new life with old habits. We talked about the power of execution. Stop overthinking. We talked about identity versus income, that your income will always match your identity. We talked about that stutter thinking, right? And we talked about we cannot outperform our current version of ourselves. Did we talk about delay is costing you more than failure? I don't believe we did. If you were here last night, let me know. We did talk about delay, how it's costing us more than failure. And I said that the real danger is not failure, but it's delay. I think I did maybe time versus money. Did I talk about the later mindset? I don't remember talking about that, but maybe I did. Okay, delay is expensive and it charges interest on our futures. I want you to write that down. Delay, I hope you have a notebook and a pen. Delay is expensive. Yes, delay is expensive and it charges interest on our futures. It's expensive and it charges what? Interest on our futures. So we think we have a vision problem, and I tell people all the time, we don't have a vision problem. We have a what? A focus problem. There is literally a war because we don't have a vision problem. And a lot of times people think that vision is the problem. We don't lack vision. I promise you we don't. Because most people are not failing because they don't know what to do. They are failing because they're distracted from what they said they wanted. And so when you heard Dana say, hey, what is your why? You have to write your why down. Well, guess what? I know that the greater majority of the people did not write their why. And I'm going to tell you why. Number one, you're afraid of the work that you have to do to obtain the why. And then number two, believe it or not, most people don't even know what they want. But you can't even get started without knowing your why. The why has to be, and you hear it as if it's cliche. Your why has to be so big, it'll make you cry. If your why is not big enough to make you cry, if it's not big enough to keep you going even when trauma happens, if it's not big enough to keep you going when chaos arises, if it's not big enough to keep you going when life is lifing, guess what's going to happen? You're going to quit every single time. And the saddest part is this. Most people quit when they are 3 feet from gold. That's when most people quit. Because, I explain this all the time, and I'm going to say this again. What got us here won't get us there. I'm going to say it again. What got us here won't get us there. If you can hear me, put a 1 in the comments. If you can hear me, put a 1 in the comments. Okay, great. I didn't think anybody would still be, okay. So if you can't hear me, check your speaker on your device. What got us here won't get us there. So focus is of the extreme importance because we have to understand that life will life. But here's what I also understand. That as a mom, I birthed 4 children, natural birth, no meds. No epidurals, right? And what I understand about birthing, and right before the baby is getting ready to come. Do I have any moms on the line? I like Gary Mitchell. I like the fact that you wrote one, W-O-N. Do I have any moms on the line right now? Any of you had children? You birthed any children? Okay, so listen to this. Right before the baby was getting ready to come, right when you got to 10, see, I don't know what's going on with my throat, 10 centimeters, what happened was all of a sudden the pain was excruciating. You can't tell your body, no, I'm done. I'm not going to push the baby out. Right? You can't say I'm done. No. I'm good. Well, that's what most people are doing in their lives. That you're right there. And then the contractions start to hit. And you're trying to think like, why do I keep getting hit with thing after thing after thing after thing? And it feels like as soon as I gonna get up from one thing, here come another. Well, that is pushing the baby out. It's pushing your birthing out. You are in the birthing and you're running from it. So you quit right when you get to 10 centimeters. You quit. That's a focus problem. That's a discipline problem. That is a when you don't know your why. Because your why wasn't big enough to make you cry. There's a good book that I read that says, write the vision, make it plain. But we stop right there. It then goes on to say, so that them that read it, they can run with it. Write the vision, make it plain. So them that read it, they can run with it. Write it down. Write the vision. And you know what happens? People won't write what they want because you make the decision based on what you have right now. You make the decision based on what's in the bank account right now. But you know what? When God gives us the vision, he always makes the provision. I'm not stuck. I want to let that one land. When God gives us the vision, he always makes the provision. Always. Always does. If he gives us a vision, he makes the provision. Here's what's wrong. We say this all the time. Where there is a will, there is a way. I see broke people all the time going to Beyonce concerts and traveling. And I just wonder all the time that these are people that tell me they broke. And every time I look at them, they in Tulum, in Jamaica, in Cancun. I don't understand. They in Miami. And they always broke when it comes down to investing. When it comes down to sowing into something that will last them longer than a weekend in Miami or a weekend in the hookah club, the lounge. And so we got to understand, where there is a will, there is a way. And when there is no will, we will not make a way. I'm going to say that one more time. When there is a will, there is a way. And when there is no will, then there is no way. Y'all got that? Do y'all got that? So inspired, people want to be motivated all the time. This is not a motivational call right now. This is a transformational call. Because if you have to be motivated to want to win, if you have to be motivated to create legacy for your family, if you have to be motivated, to make some money, then guess what? You're going to have to be motivated to carry it all the way through. Motivation, I'm not here to motivate you. You can watch YouTube for that. This is a transformational call, because what has to happen is we have to shift, because what got us here won't get us there. Who got us here won't get us there. So what got us here won't get us there. Who got us here won't get us there. So this is not a motivational call. See, I'm 53. I don't have time to be playing around. This is not an inspirational call, because you don't need motivation and inspiration. You need the thing that's going to take your mind and say, shift. I got to shift, because who I've been, and doesn't mean you're a bad person, who I've been up until this point of my life doesn't serve me for the next season. It doesn't matter how old we are. Our age doesn't matter. Our age doesn't matter. Who sang the song, Age Ain't Nothing But a Number, right? Was that Aaliyah? One of them? Age doesn't matter. Some of the best, literally, Colonel Sanders. Come here, Colonel Sanders. Come here, Martha Stewart. Come here, Vera Wang. A lot of the people. Come here, Morgan Freeman. Come here, Samuel Jackson. I want you to think about all of the people who didn't even get started until they were in their 50s, 60s. Age doesn't matter, especially not today. Not today with the power of AI. So we're fighting this war between vision and distraction. We're fighting this war. Do I stay focused? We're fighting this war. We're fighting a war believing we're in a recession. Dana, people believe we're in a recession. Tyra, people believe we're in a recession. Fatima, they believe we're in a recession. We're not in a recession because I chose to not participate in that. And when the media started saying crazy things like we were in a recession, I said, well, if we're in a recession, I don't participate in that. I choose to not participate in the recession. I'm not participating in that. And I am earning more income right now than when we were not in the recession, supposedly. So I need you to understand that you're the chosen one. I told you that last night. You're not here by accident. You're not here by incident. It is time to grow. Because what got us here won't get us there. It won't. You don't have a vision problem. You don't have a vision problem. You made it onto this call. You don't have a vision problem. You made it onto this call. Celebrate yourself. The problem is focus. Because most people really do. They know what they want. Even if you didn't write it down, you know what you want. I want to know how many of you, when Dana said, I want you to write down what you want. How much money do you want? How many properties do you want? What do you want out of this 3-day real estate challenge? What did you write down? Who wrote it down? Who wrote it down? And then I want to know, is anybody brave enough to come to the camera and tell us what they wrote down? Who wrote it down? Let me see. We got almost 60 people on here right now. Who wrote it down? I'm waiting to see. Now, I know y'all not going to disappoint me, right? Who wrote it down? Rut-row. 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 Sound like we got to open up a sound like, now, Rut-row. You all, Phyllis wrote it down. Phyllis, are you willing to come are you willing to unmute rather, so that you can let us know what your why is? I'd love to put you in the hot seat for coaching. Cheryl, how about you? Are you willing to for us to unmute you and bring you to the hot seat? Cheryl, are you willing for us to bring you to the hot seat? You unmuted. Go ahead. There you go. You can. There you go, Cheryl.
Okay. Hi. This is my first time on. I'm sorry I wasn't able to get on the other 2 nights.
That's okay.
But I am interested in getting property. I didn't write anything down, but I'm trying to get like a halfway house, and I'm also looking for a building for a ministry.
I love it.
So that's my goal, is to find our own church. So
here's what I want you to do. I want you to think about what kind of revenue you need. And of course, you don't know what kind of building you're going to need, but start doing some things like, what kind of revenue am I going to need to run these ministries? Because then because we got to tell our brain what to think about. You know what I mean? And once we tell our brain what to think about subconsciously, our brain goes into action to help us find ways, right? Creative ways to bring about what it is that we desire. So thank you. You weren't even here, and you know exactly what you want. So now what you also want to do is you want to write down, make sure you know like how many properties you want, how much money you want to earn this year, because these are things that Dana talked about on day one and on a kickoff call, right? Because her goal is to make sure that you have your first property in your first 30 days. All right. And she's going to make sure she sees to that if people commit to doing the work, that in your first 30 days you can have your first property. So I love it, Cheryl. Welcome, for your first night. So look at you. First night, you're already showing some initiative, because first night you weren't here, but you came up and told us exactly what you wanted. Congratulations to you.
Oh, thank you.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
Okay.
All right, come on, Steffi. We're going to bring you down. We're going to bring you to the screen. Steffi, all right, quickly, you got to let us know. I'm going to unmute you. Go ahead. You got to let us know quickly. What's your why?
Okay, my why was to increase my monthly income and try to get my credit right. And Dana told me to sell one of my properties and pay my credit cards down and do it. Perfect.
So when you say you want to earn more income, I want you to be very specific. That's the only change I want you to make, because I remember when I told the Lord I wanted to retire my husband, I had to know the number. So he was earning 6 figures on his job. So I knew that I needed an additional 6 figures because I wanted to retire him. You understand what I'm saying? Like, I needed to make sure we were covering what he brought into the house. Right. So it's very important, Steffi, that if you want to earn more income, bring more cash flow in every month, what's the number? Because again, just like with Cheryl, your subconscious mind now has to go into action when you give it a goal, a focal point.
I got it. I got 5,000 sitting on that, and I need 10,000 in credit, in what's it called? Business
credit. Okay, so 10,000 in business credit, and an additional 5,000 in income flow. Okay.
Yes.
I like it. Write it down.
Yeah.
Write it down. Okay, you have it.
Down last night with Dana.
Okay. All right. I got it. Thank you.
All
right. So you see, when you have a definiteness of purpose. Write that down. The first goal to being able to think your way to wealth is having a definiteness of purpose. But remember, we talked about where our focus goes, our energy flows. So if our focus is scattered, our results will be scattered. But if our focus is disciplined, then our results will be consistent. All right? If our focus is scattered, so will what? If our focus is scattered, what'll happen? Our results are scattered. But if our focus is disciplined, our results will be consistent. And that's what we want. We don't want this One moment I'm up, the next moment I'm down for a long time. Then I'm up again. Then I'm down, up, down, up, down. No, we don't want to do that. We don't want, when I stand up in the building, everybody hands go up. We want them to stay there. We want them to stay there. All right, so that's a very important thing. So what kinds of things are we allowing to distract us? We're allowing, sometimes it's family. Sometimes it's our health, neglecting our health. We have to reflect where has distraction been weakening your strength? Because a lot of us are strong and then we allow certain people in our ear, certain people in our area, in our environment. We have to understand builders lose more to distraction than they do to difficulty. It's not that it's too hard. It's that our focus is divided. And I know if we want to be balling, B-A-L-L-I-N, if we want to be balling, we have to commit to being all in. Y'all ought to write that in the comments. If we want to be balling, an additional $5,000 a month, an additional $10,000 a month, an additional $25,000 a month, $50,000 a month, $60,000 a month. If we want to be balling, we have to be all in. All in. All in. And how many of us, see, and here's the thing, you know what makes us all in? Thank you, John. I got one person that said I'm all in. When we're all in, what happens is we immediately favor follows us when we're all in. Immediately ideas follow when we're all in. Immediately opportunity knocks. We begin to see opportunity that we were overlooking when we're all in. See, because we expect, and I don't know who you believe in or what you believe in, but we expect for God to bless us when we won't do the fundamental things like write the vision, make it plain, so that them that read it can run with it. Write the vision. It is a biblical command. So we want to be balling, we got to be all in. So our focus is divided oftentimes. We got too many tabs open in our heads. Like a lot of people will be on trainings like this and on mindset calls like this and then be on social media at the same time. Scrolling on TikTok, scrolling on Snapchat, scrolling on Facebook, scrolling on Instagram. As if scrolling is going to give us or take us where we need to go. So our focus, too many tabs open, too many ideas that we start and don't stop because it gets a little tough. Too many distractions that we entertain. Let me tell you all something. When I mastered the art of the answer no, and I fixed the thing that was in me, that imposter syndrome, where I had to fix it for everybody. I needed to be the person that everybody called me for. You know, I needed to be the solution to everybody's problems. And when I fixed that, and I stopped being everybody's savior, and I realized that what does the pilot say when you get on the plane? What is the first thing that the pilot or the flight attendants say when we get on a plane? In case of an emergency, what do they say? What do they say? Let me see. Let's see if we know. You can't hear, it's on your device. What do the pilots say when you get on to a flight and the flight attendants? Does anybody know? Does anybody know? Does anyone know? It says, yes, in case of an emergency, here's what they say. Put your mask on first. Thank you, Alini. Put your mask on first. Put your mask on first. This is the mindset call. So to FB, we're here for a mindset shift first. General session starts in 6 minutes. Put your seatbelt on and put your mask on first. Do you first. Because how are we going to save or help anyone else if we don't first do us first? Do us first. So I will not be distracted from my assignment. Not in this season. It's too important. I want you all to repeat that after me. Put it in the comments. I will not be distracted from my assignment. I'm waiting. I will not be distracted from my assignment. We already know Cheryl is not distracted from her assignment. She said, I missed it, but I know exactly what I want. Steffi says, no, I 100% know what I want. I will not be distracted from my assignment. She got her answers last night in the VIP room, and she's already working towards the answers that she got last night. I see you, John. I see you, Gary. I see you, Carolyn. I see you. Cheryl, I will not be distracted by my assignment. I see you, Laura. Not distracted. Because focus is a decision. Focus is a decision. I want y'all to write that down. We only got 4 minutes left before we got to get started in general session. Focus is a decision. Focus is not a personality trait. It's a decision. Distraction is often disguised. Distraction doesn't always look like something bad. Sometimes it looks like busy work. Sometimes it looks like other people's priorities. Sometimes it looks like overthinking. I saw most of the class last night said that they were an overthinker. Sometimes it looks like social media scrolling, doom scrolling. That's what we call it. We call it doom scrolling because our access must be managed. See, when I think about the story of Samson and Delilah, right? People think that it is only about the temptation side of it, but it is also about the distraction side of it. The fact that Samson lost his focus. And the reason, and so one of the things is when you look at what happened, Samson's downfall wasn't just Delilah. Samson's downfall was access. He allowed the wrong person access for far too long. So I want you all to know that in this new season, you got to manage your access. Manage your access. And then our energy follows attention. So what you focus on is going to grow. What you focus on is going to grow. If you focus on problems, stress grows. But if you focus on opportunity, growth happens. Tonight, you're here to focus on opportunity because I told you last night, I'm going to say it again. Opportunities of a lifetime, they don't always come around. But when they do, it is our responsibility to seize the opportunity in the season of this lifetime. And then number 5 is discipline protects our destiny. Your future is protected by your discipline, not your intention. There are a lot of people who have good intentions and don't do anything with it. Everybody got potential, but what are they doing with the potential? Your future is protected by your discipline, not your desire, but your discipline. Everybody type discipline in the comments. Type discipline in the comments. And I want you to answer one question for yourselves as we're getting ready to get ready for the general session. I want you to answer one question for yourselves. What has distraction already cost you? What has distraction already cost you? Right? We talked about that a little bit last night. What it has already cost you. How many missed opportunities have you already had because distraction, time, stress, sleep, come on. Y'all, we're not going to let distraction kill our destiny anymore.
When I feel small, now I say I'm out loud, soft voice, still strong.